Hey, Bruce, have you been told anything about making this team? And if not, how do you feel about your chances and the body of work you put forward?
I have not been told anything so far. Not really expecting to, probably for the next couple of days with just how the rotation's shaking out right now. Obviously, they're still stretching out a lot of starters. So I feel really good about how I've come into camp and how I've played so far. I think I've shown what I needed to show and done everything that I could in my power to show that I, earned a spot on the roster and whatnot. So just, I'm going to keep going about my business and taking care of what I need to take care of day to day. It looks like I'll probably get one more outing here before the end of camp. So just looking forward to building off of what I've done so far and let the chips fall where they may when it comes to the roster decision.
Next up is Rich Dubrov.
Hey, Bruce, if you look at your stat line for the outings, it's really fabulous. Do you feel like, you pitched as well as your stat line indicates?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, I went out there with the goal in mind of, each game of attacking the zone and putting pressure on the hitters and, being efficient. And I think in all my starts, I was able to keep a very low pitch count. There's a couple times where I fell behind, worked back through that, put guys away when I could. So there's always things to improve on. There's always balls that, were hit hard but that were caught. Stats are never perfect in that way. But as far as, how I've pitched so far, I'm very, very happy with the results.
Next is Joe Trezza.
Bruce, I know that camp isn't over yet and spring isn't over, but have you heard the parallels to what you did this spring compared to what John Means did a few springs ago, just based on your, background and the fact that you're both left-handed and things like that? Have you heard those? And if so, what's your kind of reaction to that?
I've heard those because of some friends of mine sent me some tweets or things like that I saw those comments were mentioned. But it's definitely a compliment. Obviously, Means is a heck of a pitcher, and I look up to him in a lot of ways. As a fellow lefty, and also as even though we don't have a ton of older experienced guys on the team, John is one of those guys, and I definitely look to follow his lead when it comes to going about my work. He's a very consistent guy and definitely someone to look up to. But I take it as a compliment, and we'll see how it pans out here. But definitely it's a nice compliment to hear, and it's a attribute to what I've been doing down here. So I'm very happy with that.
Next up is John Mioli.
Bruce, we were told you pitched in a B game last week, but what have you been doing since, and how has that those backfield experiences needing to be where you make your impression, how has that gone for you? How do you feel about that?
As far as the B games and the backfield games, it basically, I think it comes down to getting guys innings, and I was fortunate to pitch in the games and the first 3 outings of spring, and so obviously other guys need to get their innings in as well. So when it comes to those games, it doesn't change how I go about it. Go about them with the plan in mind, with certain goals to work on. Yesterday when I threw, some of the key things that I was working on was really working on changeups and sliders effectively to both sides of the plate was a big goal for mine, and but also to continue what I've been doing well, which is attacking the zone and working ahead and being efficient. So there's definitely a little less adrenaline in those backfield games, as guys have probably said, but it doesn't take away from the fact that we're still getting ready for the season. So you got to go in there with a plan and be committed to it and get your work in for the day, because the season is literally a week away at this point.
Next up is Mark Viviano.
Hey, Bruce, obviously a big part of your story is being a Baltimore guy. And you mentioned it would mean a lot to you to be able to pitch at Camden Yards. When fans are allowed, you'll have friends and family there. Do you feel like you're closer to that? And how big of a motivator is that as you try to make this team?
It's definitely a big motivator for me. Obviously, I can't deny that. It's going to be special to finally hear that Camden O with fans in the stands for the first time being on the field instead of being one of the ones yelling it. So definitely looking forward to that. I mean, as much as that's a motivator, it's just, you know, being a consistent everyday Major League Baseball player and contributing to a club that's, you know, trying to win some ball games and you know, continue this rebuild that we're in and everything like that. So all in all, every part of it is a motivating aspect to it. But being able to possibly be with the team on opening day in Camden Yards is definitely going to be a highlight that I'll always remember if it's possible.
Next up is Steve Molesky.
Hey, Bruce, have you gained the velocity? And if yes, how did you do it?
I wouldn't say I've gained velocity, because I know last spring when I came in, I was right around the same velocity. I think I was like 93.5 average, something like that. You know, in the off season last year, had to go through COVID and some other minor things that happened during quarantine. That's why the velo was probably a couple down from what it is now. But I think I just went back to work this off season of basically following the pretty similar regimen of what I did last year, which involved a lot of long toss, a weighted ball program, and consistent, you know, lifting. And so I think that just got me back to where I was last spring. And, you know, I feel very good about it, you know, and as the arm loosens up and we get to, you know, mid-season shape with the arm, you know, maybe got one or two more in there. So, but I'm very happy with where I'm sitting at right now in spring training, and very happy with the work I put in to get my velo to where it is right now.
Final question is from Joe Trezza.
Bruce, this is a follow-up to Mark's question, and it's admittedly it's a hypothetical, but let's say you do head up to Baltimore next week. What's your setup like? Would you live with your family? You know, how would that kind of go?
Like you said, it's a hypothetical, so I have a couple different options in mind right now. Staying at home is definitely not out of the option, although, you know, I would like to, you know, hopefully move downtown to Baltimore at some point very soon, just, you know, for the sake of travel and easier things like that. But first things first, you know, got to make the team. So we'll wait and hear about that.